have it maintained, and it has been in the past, so that we're not having to go through this all the time. I think it's the city's responsibility, it's their dam, and it does impact so many people, and it does impact the beauty of the city and what we can do with the river. At this point, I've given you a lot of communication before, so I don't want to go through all that again. I'm going to entertain questions. I have some backup people here if it's something I can't answer.
I got one you can't answer, I'll bet. Why did they stop putting them on?
I think through attrition.
I thought it was done every year still.
It always had been,
Yeah.
Dick. That's a really good question. And I think through attrition of different people in the board and city administration and everything, it just got pushed to the side. And
It wasn't
now
objections.
there's not an interest in it,
But there was no objections to it.
not that I'm aware of.
So I just wondered if we were, stirring up an old objection, but
The only objection I've heard recently has been this year, that they're saying it's insurance issues. And in speaking with Bob Hill and Benita have been very, and Steve, were all at our meeting we had with our voter people. There is a possibility of adding a rider to the insurance policy to cover any work that's on the dam. Right now, it's not insured, so they would have to have a rider.
the last discussion I was in was at Pat's Tavern. In our card game in the morning, we had a healthy group that wanted to take the dam out. They didn't want any dam. That lost that day, but
Thank goodness.
yes, thank
Yeah.
goodness. That was an
I know
actual,
it looked kinda sad
that was an
when I
actual
thought it
viable
was there.
position some people had, Let's just take it out.
One of the things I think we need to be aware of is that we've done a lot of contacting and research on this. One of the problems for us right at the moment is that our watershed is 23 counties. It's one of the biggest. There is an organization that has indicated that with enough local support, they could start trying to get these groups together. We can't get the Army Corps of Engineers or the Department of Agriculture. Got a letter from Secretary Vilsack on it. Until we get the watershed people putting together a program to try to reduce the runoff into the river. That's where the silting's coming from. The group, I think, that night indicated that you guys were willing to put together a subcommittee and to contact this organization and start to work on that. Now, until that's done, right now the river is at an all-time low. It is something, I can remember not too long ago when we had the Waterloo Waterhawks over here performing on the river. We had a good-sized crowd for that. We have the river for the 4th of July is a huge attraction. People, wow, the fireworks is going off over the river, and we get people up and down both sides of the river. It is a central part of the community, and it just is something that I know that the concern is as well, the city employees, it's a dangerous task and it's an ongoing task. In talking with John, one of the reasons we don't have insurance on the dam is that general policies, most cities don't have a dam. And so that's why you have to put a rider on to cover that. You can also for $700 put that rider on, and that doesn't just cost for the dam. That's for it covers that. But for another $100, then you could even ask for volunteer help, and that would cover that. Not just for dam work, but anytime you have volunteers working on a city project, you're going to need some kind of coverage. And so for $800, we can have coverage. Right now, if something happens in the community because of the dam, we're really not insured, are we, John? So, it's something that, again, $1 saved could be a lot of dollars lost in not putting this rider on. it just seems like it's such an important part of the community, and yet we find reasons why we can't take care of it. And so, at some point, I guess it's kind of like first time I went to New Mexico, and the pilot says, "Oh, take a look out the right side the window. There's the Rio Grande," and I'm looking at this, mud hole that no wonder people can cross over the border because it doesn't even go over your shoes in some places. We don't want that to happen with the river here, and that's a very possibility. I mean, you take a look at some of these pictures John's put together, and it's just literally sandbars. Now, some of it's got to do with, I'm sure, the drought we've had the last few years, but that's why it's also important we put these on before fall rains, before spring rains, because we do need the water to back up. If you put those on right now without rainfall, we're probably not going to see as big a difference as we'd hope, would we, John?
Didn't we have flood warnings though not too long ago? I believe the city hall called me and said, "You better find a different place to live tonight. It's gonna flood."
That was in June.
Yeah, in June, yeah,
flood.
okay.
And just as an example, 4 or 5 days ago, we had a lot of rain north of us. Chipola, which has an active water gauge, the water level went up 2.5 feet overnight there. And if you noticed, our water level came back up over here, and because it wasn't going down the little fish ladder before, now it's going down the fish ladder again. It did come up some, but very, very little. By the time it gets to us, it's spread back out again. But in 2011, when we put the boards on the dam, the water was really low, and I remember they were having a canoe float down to Kowski from down here below the dam. So they did not have us put the boards on. We'd already purchased the boards, but they were afraid it would stop the water flow. Well, had we put them on, it rained like 3 inches that night. It would have been, within 6 hours, it'd been up over the boards and back coming over the dam again. But that's all hindsight being 2020. But the safest time to put them on is when the water's in a low condition like that. You can't put them on in the spring when it's flooding. So the sooner we get them on, the easier it is to get them on. If we wait too long, it's gonna be too cold. I wouldn't wanna be out in the water doing it.
Now, it's my understanding there's a ledge on the north side of the dam,
It's about an 18-inch ledge.
so we're not, the pictures in Des Moines, these guys are walking on top of the
Yeah.
dam.
In fact, there was in the packets that I sent to you, there were some photographs of the fellows when they were putting them on last time. And as you can see, they're all standing in front of the dam. It's, in talking with Chris Anderson, who's done it for years, and Cole Trimble, who used to work part-time for the city parks department, he's done it before. He said it's really not a big deal. It takes about 3 to 4 hours to take the old ones off, another 3 to 4 hours to put the new ones on. And just float them out there.
There's even a little shelf to stand on, isn't there?
Yeah, about an 18-inch shelf. But again, it's one of those things we really need it to aid not only the appearance of what our river looks like and our downtown looks like, but for the boating public and anybody that uses the river.
I can't remember that night, there was some discussion on the boards that were used as opposed to some other boards that might be stand up better or
Boards
something.
that we have been using, we just went with what the city had been using, are laminated boards, they call them laminated beams. They were purchasing through Spahn and Rose, and the check that I wrote when we did it last time was $1,711, I think, for the boards. And we did get a quote from Wheelan's. They said that they could do those boards for about $2,000 plus tax, but these would be actual beams. They would use like white oak, which they think those would be stronger than the lamb beams that we're using, but I'm not sure. But that would be an option.
You do almost want them to break out though, every so often, so any silt that builds up behind it would break loose. I
Well,
mean,
there's no
it's-
silt that breaks up behind them. They're up too high.
To me, I know when we've been working on some of the things for where we got the REAP grant and some of our other projects throughout the community, Dan Cohen one time wrote an article, or sent out an article to us as far as the importance of the Wapsipinicon River and it being one of the best rivers in the state of Iowa and its economic value to our community. And I know in talking with this group, as far as when the water is up and they've been able to use it, that type of thing, the money that comes in from people from out of town, I mean, there's not only these people that live upriver, live in that area, there's a lot of people that travel here from other towns and utilize our river, and the economic growth or economic value that has to our community is worthwhile too, considering for just the amount that we're even considering, approving here. And we could get that back in one weekend almost with when the water is available and people can actually utilize it for recreational purposes. But the economic growth in it and the need for us to have that. I can't imagine somebody wanting to take out the dam. That just is amazing to me that somebody.
Let's stop talking about
Yeah,
taking out the dam,
yeah.
people.
We're not
That is
taking the dam
terrible.
out.
Terrible.
That was controversial last time. Let's not even discuss that
Stop
anymore.
playing cards with those
Had
people.
so many calls, it was ridiculous. But
Yeah,
the dam
why?
is there, people
Yeah.
stand.
And this is a small investment for us to keep that and keep that economical benefit for our community and the value it has to our community.
Well, one thing I find ironic is we're sitting here debating this, and yet we're excited about getting a grant for Portage. And,
Yeah.
it's like, right now, some of those sections of the river, you can't even use a canoe in it.
You'll be able to practice portaging.
So,
Okay, is there any other questions for John? If not, I want John Evers to speak.
Another John.
Thank you.
Thank you, John,
Thank you.
John,
and welcome, John.
and here's John.
Good evening, all. Pass this around. This is, I was asked to bring this along as a confirmation of the liability additional charge, an email I got from my captain. I kind of feel like I'm riding the fence in this little situation. Besides using the river myself, I'm also a representative of the city. So what I'm going to say tonight is just facts of what I was told by ICAP and IMWCA. There is an endorsement for the dam liability, and the reason there is a dam exclusion on the policies is because every community doesn't have this situation. Raleigh shouldn't have to pay for this coverage. Winthrop shouldn't have to pay for this coverage, so they put it in there.